Happy Monday, Acadiana, and welcome to another edition of Louisiana Focus. I am your host, Dawson Damico. Acadiana might be welcoming back live entertainment in the near future, and we have all of the details. We also get expert opinion on this week's NFL Draft, and we speak to UL students about experiencing LAGNIAPPE Day during the pandemic. All of these stories and more coming right up. As things slowly return to normal after the pandemic, live events may be returning to downtown Lafayette in the near future. Lydia Alcala has more.
With numerous events canceled over the past year, downtown businesses have suffered from a lack of clientele. Lafayette resident Abigail Lachele shares her thoughts on the issue.
Downtown events were pretty popular before the pandemic, and I think a lot of businesses thrived during those times. Not having those crowds drawn to downtown area has definitely really affected them negatively.
Some businesses might have once relied on customers coming in from live events, as Lafayette native Megan Ortego explains.
I think businesses rely on a lot of live events to bring in customers, and I think that generates a lot of revenue. So I think having those live events is very important to get their business back and booming again.
With the possibility of live events resurfacing after a slow year, Ms. Ortego shares some of the occasions she is most excited for.
I think Lafayette's doing pretty well in recovering from the pandemic. I know I'm excited to get back to live events like Festival International and Patty in the Park, just to gather and be with friends like we used to before the pandemic.
To stay updated on what's happening in the downtown area, visit downtownlafayette.org and follow their social media pages. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Lydia Alcala.
The NFL Draft starts this Thursday, and Hannah Adams-Laverne spoke to local sports broadcasters about the Saints' possible prospects this year.
We're in Parch the third, but I know RP3 gives us the highlights for the Saints draft.
I have multiple players that would be perfect fits for the Saints. Tops on that list is Zavon Collins, the linebacker out of Tulsa. But I think the Saints are going to go defense.
Here's what some mock drafts think is going to happen.
You've seen Terrace Marshall Jr., star wide receiver out of LSU. Saints taking him at 28. You've seen them taking Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota, at 28. I've even seen some mock drafts that said Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss, wide receiver. I don't think that happened.
Here's what RP3 says is the Saints' priority.
But I think corner linebacker is their priority. Regardless if they stay at 28 or if they're even able to move up 5-6 spots, I still think they're going linebacker corner.
So who do you think the Saints will draft first? For Louisiana Focus, I'm Hannah Adams.
Due to COVID, the NBA had to have an adjusted season, and our Travis Boutin has more.
The 2020 NBA season began on December 22nd, an unusual start from their normal November start. This season also has 72 games instead of their usual 82, but other than that, this season has run as normal. The Brooklyn Nets are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference at the moment, and the Utah Jazz are the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Stephen Curry leads the league in points per game and three-pointers made per game, averaging 31.2 points per game. Clint Capella leads the league in rebounds with 14.7 rebounds per game. Russell Westbrook leads the league in assists with 10.9 assists per game. Miles Turner leads the league in blocks with 3.4 blocks per game. And Jimmy Butler leads in steals with 2.1 steals per game. This season's MVP race has been one for the books. Players such as Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and Stephen Curry all make good picks for the MVP. But fans all over have been trying to make projections as to who they think will win MVP.
Honestly, I think Joel Embiid gonna win for numerous amount of reasons. But for one, you know, Philly is in the Eastern Conference, which is predominantly known as the easier conference. So I feel like Philly gonna go farther. Even though, you know, Jokic in Denver, he having a great season, but I just feel like Joel gonna pull it off. Just especially if they keep that seed that they got right now, the second seed in the East. So yeah, Joel Embiid, my NBA MVP.
This NBA season is nearing its end, which means that the playoffs and finals are approaching. NBA fans have been trying to guess who they think will be in the finals this year, and most fans say the same two teams.
I'm going to have to go with Brooklyn and LA on this. My reasoning for LA is because you can't never count LeBron out. He is LeBron. And then Brooklyn, I'm going to have to say they got the best roster in the league. I mean, that's basically a super team, dog.
We'll have to wait until the end of the season to see who can make the playoffs and the NBA Finals. From Louisiana Focus, I'm Travis Boutin.
The 2021 Louisiana High School Athletics Association playoffs were in full effect last week, and one of Acadiana's top teams was in full action. Blaze Bro has a game recap.
After a 6-point victory in the first round, the 8th-ranked Loreville Lady Tigers were set to take on the 9th-ranked Kinder Lady Yellow Jackets. It was a defensive battle as both teams were the beneficiary of phenomenal pitching. The game would be held scoreless through the first 2 innings as these two outstanding defenses would battle it out. It was the Lady Tigers who would strike first blood in the third after a huge double from Sadie Landry would give them a 1-0 lead at the end of 3. The Lady Tigers defense would help them keep their 1-0 lead for majority of the game as they would hold Kinder scoreless through the first 5 innings. Kinder's bats would come alive at the top of the 6th, allowing the Yellow Lady Jackets to take a commanding 3-1 lead going into the bottom of the 6th. That was all the points the Yellow Jackets would need as they would hold Loreville scoreless through the last 2 innings, giving them the 2-point win. While the outcome wasn't exactly what the Lady Tigers were looking for, coaches and fans say there's nothing to be ashamed of.
Man, the effort was incredible. I mean, it was a dogfight to the very end. They left everything they had out there, and that's all you can ask for, you know? It's a lot to be proud of walking off this field.
They really went out there and fought like true Loreville Tigers, and that's all we could ask of them. They wear their heart on their sleeves, and you know, if you're from Loreville, that's what you do. You wear your heart on your sleeve, you give it everything you got, you show that Tiger pride, and if you're from Loreville, that's what you do.
From Louisiana Focus, I'm Blaze Bro.
Thinking of learning a new form of martial arts? Well, I may be able to help you with that. Check this out. For the past few years, Grapple House has been able to provide people with a much-needed environment in order to enhance their techniques on the jiu-jitsu mat. A multitude of different classes are provided for anyone looking to learn jiu-jitsu or enhance their skills for competition. Most of these classes are taught by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Daniel Sage.
Fundamentals course is more geared towards self-defense. Jiu-jitsu you might use in the real world in a self-defense scenario, whereas our advanced program is geared towards sport jiu-jitsu when you're ready to take it kind of to the next level and want to compete.
Being of the great Carlton Gracie lineage and a Pedro Sauer affiliate, there's a lot of pride throughout the walls of Grapple House. But according to brown belt Eric Alfonso, in this sport, pride must be thrown out of the window if you want to see progress.
To get better, you have to be the nail. And it's humbling, man. It's the match where egos go to die. It really is. If you walk to a place, I mean, there's always somebody better than the next guy, and it's always somebody's day.
It takes an average of 10 years to obtain a black belt in jiu-jitsu. That's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that come along the way. But many grapplers will tell you that it is all worth it because of the different forms of martial arts. Jiu-jitsu is widely considered to be the most effective one to learn.
You can take anybody and say, make a fist and throw a punch. It may be ugly, but they can still make this go here. You put somebody on the mat with somebody who's rolled for 2 months, and it's exponential difference.
If you're interested in joining Grapple House, they're located at 1122 Hugh Wallace Road, just off of Southwest Evangeline Thruway. I'm Dawson Damico, and this is Louisiana Focus. The 2021 Summer Olympics are coming up, but do students actually watch them? Madeline Cerna finds out for us.
I mean, it's a way for the world to compete against each other. It's something that only happens every 4 years. It's a very interesting activity because of that. There's not many opportunities for every country in a nation to participate in something so grand.
Around 11,000 of the world's finest athletes have assembled to present the people of the world the greatest sporting spectacle on earth.
If you couldn't tell by the recent hype, the Summer Olympics are coming up in July of this year. I talked to college students to find out if they actually watch them, despite the excitement. Evan Schwarzenbach respects the Olympics, but won't go out of his way to watch it.
No, I do not watch the Summer Olympics. I think it's just because I've never been too interested in the Olympics.
It's not just Schwarzenbach. College student James Way has his own opinion of why the Olympics just don't interest him.
I mean, it's definitely beyond like worldwide warfare. It's the grandest way to like peacefully, to compete, and so, but it's like riddled with cheating and stuff. So I mean, it's not exactly a fair comparison from country to country.
Way believes that the Olympics are focused on athletes competing worldwide, but thinks something is more attention-grabbing than everything.
I think some people do, but I think most people it's fuel for like drama. So I feel like the most I ever hear about the Olympics, like I rarely see clips. I see like, did you hear that Ryan Lochte did this in the Village and he got arrested, or whatever it is. I feel like it's more just it's the new talking point for a summer.
When asked if he found it interesting that the pre-scheduled 2020 Summer Olympics were postponed due to COVID-19 and rescheduled for 2021, even though we're still in a pandemic, this is what he had to say.
I guess it's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. That won't change my viewership at all because I don't watch the Olympics.
We'll see if drama overcomes the successes of Olympians this summer and if these beliefs serve to be true or false. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Madeline Cerna.
For students looking to take classes this summer, many of them are wondering about specific charges associated with instruction. Our Ian Green has more.
I think UL can cut some of the summer class costs by not charging us for fees that we don't use. For example, I took classes in summer 2020.
As the spring semester will soon come to an end, most students look forward to summer break. However, many students will continue their education through summer classes, in which have caused financial concern amongst many students. There are some students who have developed ideas toward a solution.
I believe the school could release some of the fees that they have online, and because they don't take account of all the external prices such as getting books and everything. So if they could get rid of some of the fees that don't really apply to learning as of now, then I think they can improve and get more students to willingly come and take summer courses here.
I think we should either redistribute some funds, look into some grants, or just some fundraising.
Although summer classes are not covered by financial aid, Kyler Trepanier feels the office could do more by removing certain fees.
I noticed that they charged me for like a student union fee. We were completely online, so we wasn't using the union, so I don't know why they charged me for that. They also charged for like little clubs, SGA. I even saw a cheerleading charge. If they like reduce the charges that have nothing to do with us, I think classes could be a lot cheaper.
Student Guy Jr. believes the school should commence a specific fee that would be transferred toward the tuition option for summer classes.
Add a fee to everyone's tuition, but like a really small fee, and that fee could be put towards like the summer cost of tuition because it's really expensive, and I feel like it's more of a hassle because students have to go to other colleges during the summer and try to get those credits transferred. So it'll just be easier if we could be able to have classes at our own campus for a cheaper price.
The last day to enroll and pay for summer classes is May 27th, and classes begin on June 7th. Ian Green for Louisiana Focus.
The Saucier Wellness Center has now provided more accessibility to the vaccine with it being available on UL's campus. Cameron Lyon files the report.
With the Wellness Center being a luxury on campus for students, it has become now even more of a luxury with the COVID vaccine being available. Fully vaccinated student Dakota Brumfield has more.
Vaccine being available on campus, it allows more students who might not be privileged enough to go elsewhere to get the vaccine. It's also a little more convenient for a lot of people that stay on campus. And also it's just giving that feel to the students that the university actually cares for their student body.
With the COVID vaccine being so accessible to students, Mr. Brumfield feels that it could be the start of bringing everything back to normal.
I recommend people to get the vaccine because that'll be the first step to put it into the pandemic.
LAGNIAPPE Day is a UL Lafayette tradition that features crawfish as the focal point. But how was the event this year? India Davis has more.
LAGNIAPPE Day is a favorite UL Lafayette tradition that brings students and staff together with one thing in mind, and that is crawfish. But this year's LAGNIAPPE Day was a tad bit different due to COVID-19 restrictions.
It was hard because of COVID and the COVID restrictions, and I know a lot of students, but a lot of students really wanted this event, so we just tried to make it a way. So we had to do pre-sale tickets, and we had to just make sure that we're enforcing like the social distancing and masks. But it's just a grab-and-go situation this year instead of just you can grab and like just eat then and there. But students were able to just sit around the union and just eat their coffee.
A traditional LAGNIAPPE Day not only features the crawfish, but it features canoe races, team games, music, dancing, and good old Southern fun. This year's LAGNIAPPE Day featured a grab-and-go feature that abided by the COVID-19 restrictions, allowing students to still enjoy the Southern delicacy.
The LAGNIAPPE Day was a lot of fun. It was good to see all the students come out. It was most students I've seen in a long time, so it was a lot of fun. Environment was good, and good music.
Crawfish is a fan favorite here in South Louisiana and at UL Lafayette. This has been India Davis with Louisiana Focus.
One UL Lafayette professor is helping spread the joy of music, and Tim Didier files the report.
UL's Angel Hall contains the office of a professor who is looking to bring musical instruments to those in need. Dr. Benjamin Yates has been a music professor at UL for 4 years. He and 2 of his former professors are part of a drive to collect instruments to bring to the Dominican Republic. The idea for the drive came after the professors knew they'd be headed to the Caribbean.
Myself and a couple of colleagues were asked to go to the DR and play for this trombone festival that's actually just getting started up. And the idea would be that we would travel around with the festival and play some recitals, give some master classes and some presentations kind of on the pedagogy of teaching trombone. And so that was kind of the original reason for going to the DR. And then once we knew that we were going to go, Mike Smith up at Luther College decided that we should turn this into kind of a service project also.
As word spread about the drive, organized by Dr. Yates and his colleagues, many have stepped up and donated to the cause.
So the instrument drive's gone really well so far. We started really picking up steam in mid-March, and since then, here in the Lafayette area, we've gathered almost 40 instruments, which was far more than we ever really expected. And the other colleagues that are going to be going with me, they're from a small college up in Northeast Iowa, Luther College, and they've gathered about 30 or 40 instruments as well.
The instruments will be shipped to the Dominican Republic in mid-June. Anyone who wants to donate to the drive can contact Dr. Yates at benjamin.yates@louisiana.edu. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Tim Didier.
And finally, hope is near for those hopeless dogs and cats who don't seem to have an owner. Caitlin Johnson has more.
Welcome to Louisiana Focus. I'm Caitlin Johnson. Meet Tech, a member of Acadiana's Animal Aid, and let's take a closer look into their daily operations and what happens if these animals aren't claimed by owners.
Basically, we have intakes every Tuesday and Thursday, where we take new intakes and we pull from all the local municipal shelters around here, and those are our kill shelters, so we pull so that we can free up space so that they can put more into their shelter.
For other animals being transported out?
And then once a month we do Colorado transports, where we adopt them out to Colorado and to a shelter out there. And then of course we also do our local adoptions here every day.
Looking for a new addition to your family?
I would just like to say that if you're in the market for adopting, come check us out.
Acadiana Animal Aid has exactly what you want. Best part, you can find them right down the road.
We're located at 142 La Medicine Road, Carencro, Louisiana 70520.
That's it for tonight, you guys. Louisiana Focus is a co-production between AOC Community Media and the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Our teleprompter is Ian Green. Our production assistant is Hannah Adams. And our faculty advisor is Assistant Professor Patricio Salinas. And I'm Dawson Damico. Have a great week.